For centuries, the British royal family has stood as a beacon of unity, tradition, and unwavering solidarity. They have weathered storms of scandal, war, and political upheaval, presenting an image of stability to the British public and the world. The monarchy, a centuries-old institution, was synonymous with grace, power, and respectability. However, behind the ornate walls of Buckingham Palace, beyond the carefully crafted smiles, and behind the grandeur of royal ceremonies, something far darker and more complex was brewing, a storm that would threaten the very foundation of the monarchy itself. Tensions within the royal household, simmering beneath the surface for months, were finally set to reach their boiling point. And at the center of it all were two women, Queen Kamilah and Princess Katherine. While both women occupy prominent roles in the royal family, their relationship has always been far from smooth. Queen Kamilah, who now stands as the consort of King Charles III, has long been viewed by the public with suspicion. Her past involvement with Prince Charles, during his marriage to the beloved Princess Diana, still looms over her every move. She is caught in the storm of her own history, struggling to carve out an identity beyond the one shaped by her controversial relationship with Charles. Though she is now queen, Kamilah remains shackled to her past, and her every gesture is under intense scrutiny. Yet, despite the years of public criticism and the challenge of integrating into the royal family, Kamilah has managed to build her own network of power, one that, as the world was about to discover, would come into direct conflict with Princess Katherine. Princess Katherine, beloved by the public for her grace, composure, and charity work, represents a new era for the monarchy, one that looks forward, not back. She has become the epitome of what the modern royal family should stand for, with an emphasis on family values, charity, and the future of the monarchy. But Katherine's rise to prominence has not been without its own set of challenges. Her marriage to Prince William, the future King of England, places her in the center of royal expectations, and she, too, is scrutinized at every turn. Despite the adoration of the public, there are those within the royal family who question her place in the intricate web of power that is the monarchy. And none more so than Queen Kamilah. Sources have long hinted at a simmering rivalry between the two women, a rivalry built not just on personal history, but also on the politics of royal life. Behind closed doors, it's whispered that Princess Katherine has made a concerted effort to undermine Camillah's position within the monarchy. Could this be a form of sweet revenge for the wrongs that Katherine believes were done to her late mother-in-law, Princess Diana? Or is there something more at play? Some royal insiders suggest that Katherine may be positioning herself and her family for a more prominent role in the monarchy, one that pushes Kamilah further into the shadows. With tensions rising, the rift between the two women was about to reach a head, and it would occur on the most public of stages, King Charles III's coronation. The coronation, the most highly anticipated royal event in decades, was meant to be a celebration of continuity, unity, and a new era for the monarchy. The world watched as King Charles was crowned, and in that moment, the monarchy seemed to embrace the promise of a fresh start. But within the royal family itself, a different story was unfolding. What should have been a joyful and historic occasion turned into a tense and uncomfortable spectacle, a battle for control that no one could have predicted. The seeds of this royal drama had been planted months before the coronation, and they were about to sprout in full force. It all began, oddly enough, with the guest list, a detail that seemed trivial to the casual observer, but in the royal world, it was a battleground. Queen Kamilah, in what many saw as a deliberate move to assert her influence, invited 20 members of her own family to the coronation. These were not distant relatives with long ties to the crown, but rather a group of her closest kin, some of whom had little connection to the royal family at all. The Middletons, on the other hand, Katherine's family, were only allotted 4 invitations. For those who paid close attention to royal affairs, the implications of this disparity were clear. Camillah's family was being prioritized, while Katherine's, despite their deep ties to the monarchy, were left to linger in the background. To many, this move appeared to be a direct challenge to Katherine's position within the royal family. It was not just a slight, it was an assertion of power, a reminder that Kamilah, the queen consort, was firmly entrenched in the monarchy's future. Katherine, whose family had supported the royal family in countless ways over the years, was left to wonder, how long could she continue to play by the rules of the monarchy when her family was being treated as an afterthought? As the coronation ceremony began, the air was thick with tension. What should have been a grand celebration of Charles's ascension to the throne was instead marked by a sense of unease. The royal family's carefully constructed image of unity began to crack, and nowhere was this more evident than in the behavior of the guests. When the newly crowned King Charles and Queen Kamilah made their exit from Westminster Abbey, a moment traditionally marked by bowing and curtsying to the monarchs, something extraordinary happened. As Kamilah passed, not a single bow or curtsy was offered. This silent protest was deafening. It was an unmistakable statement, an act of defiance that sent ripples through the crowd. The significance of this gesture was clear. Camillah's authority, her role as queen consort, was being challenged, and not just by the public, but from within her own family. Even more telling was the reaction of Prince William. His body language spoke volumes. For those who had witnessed the growing tension between his wife and Kamilah, the expression on William's face was telling. His rigid posture, clenched jaw, and tense gaze conveyed the deep conflict he was experiencing. For years, William had remained in the background, playing the dutiful son and husband. But now, it was clear that the divide between his wife and his stepmother had reached a boiling point. As the heir to the throne, William understood the gravity of the situation, but what was he prepared to do? In the days following the coronation, the tension between Katherine and Kamilah reached a new height. Katherine, frustrated by the constant undermining of her family and her role in the monarchy, demanded a private meeting with Kamilah. It was a meeting that had been a long time coming, one that was whispered about in royal circles for months. The setting was Buckingham Palace, the heart of the British monarchy. It was here, behind closed doors, that the future of the monarchy would be decided. Would this confrontation lead to reconciliation, or would it mark the beginning of an even deeper rift within the royal family? The world held its breath as Katherine and Kamilah came face to face in what would be the most dramatic and high-stakes meeting of their lives. And while the details of that conversation remained shrouded in secrecy, the whispers from insiders were far from reassuring. Some sources suggest that the meeting turned into an all-out war of words, with Katherine demanding a greater voice in the monarchy's future, and Kamilah pushing back, determined to maintain her hard-won position. Others claim that Katherine's frustration was palpable, and she was ready to fight for her place at the table, no longer content to be sidelined by Camillah's dominance. But this wasn't just about family politics. This was about legacy. Diana's legacy. For Katherine, there is no escaping the shadow of her late mother-in-law, whose tragic life and untimely death had left an indelible mark on the royal family. Many believe that Katherine's efforts to undermine Kamilah are not just about her own rise to power. They are, in part, an effort to right the wrongs done to Diana. Sources close to Katherine have suggested that she is determined to restore Diana's rightful place in the royal narrative, and in doing so, perhaps gain control of her own destiny within the monarchy. As this drama plays out in the public eye, one thing is certain: the royal family is not as united as it once appeared. The carefully constructed image of harmony is beginning to crack, and the world is watching to see how this royal rift will play out. Will Kamilah retain her grip on power, or will Katherine emerge as the true leader of the monarchy's future? Will the royal family survive this turmoil, or will it be forever changed by the clash between these two powerful women? The answers to these questions may be more explosive than anyone could have ever anticipated, and the monarchy's future may depend on how this battle plays out behind the palace walls. As the drama unfolds, the monarchy, once thought to be impervious to such intrusions, finds itself on the edge of a precipice. The royal family may never be the same again.